Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here, and welcome to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. Today I'm going into the new event, the Resonant Waltz, and taking on the new Ruin EX stage. This is a tough fight. I've basically been losing to this all night. I had to take a break and go climbing for like 2 hours to kind of like settle my mind around it. I kind of had a not a great strategy at first. I feel like a lot of strategies in this game kind of are very dependent on a high DPS beta. So I went in with a slightly more defensive approach, thinking that I could wing it, and it just wasn't really working. I think the reason I went in thinking with this kind of uh, shielded approach is because at the very beginning they cast Triple Waltz, and it can fully wipe your entire team. It is no joke a strong ability. But we're going to be fighting Black Waltz 1, 2, and 3 in their Ruin forms. The only required sigils you need are Triangle, and so I'm going to go into the full bit for the full build exactly how I did it and the whole fight essentially, and get you guys through it. Then actually the battle itself I will be voiceovering, just because it took me so many attempts to do the video that I just stopped recording my voice, and I feel like that this is kind of becoming a thing, because all of the hard fights that I've done guides for so far, Sephiroth EX3, Iron Giant EX3, and maybe some of the Crisis dungeons I do voiceovers for, just because of how many tries it will take. Anyways, going into the builds. First, we are going to look at Tifa over here. All right, so let's look at Tifa. So here's her stats. She's sitting at 7k HP, 2.3k physical attack, which is important. I had it at about 2,000 before, and it wasn't quite enough. So I am running her Amarant's Armor along with Amarant's Claw, and I'm running her Tiger Fangs, mostly because it has a magical attack debuff. It goes mid and then high. This is a fantastic weapon. If you don't have it, I highly recommend looking through your characters and seeing if you have something that fulfills this debuff ability. Other than that, in terms of her limit break, I'm bringing Water Kick. There will be no summons on any of the characters. The Black Waltz 3 is 80% immune to all elemental resistances and 100% immune to Quake or Earth materia. So, needless to say, you want to be doing your limit breaks right now. In terms of materia, I do have a Ruin Rublo right here that is 5-star. This is just for stats. In my second slot, I'm using Cura so that Tifa can back up heal. His Black Waltz 3 does a single target attack called Strike in the later end of the fight, and it can do around over 5k damage. I mean, eventually it's going to get to a point where it's hitting you for 37,000, and then at that point it becomes a DPS race, but during the times that it's healable, it's good to have characters with single target heals. And then last but not least, I am going to have Ruinra, Triangle Sigil. You're going to put Ruinra, so a magic-based Ruin Triangle Sigil materia on all of your characters, because this is going to break his Soar form. All right, going into the sub-equipments right here, we have the Torn Wing, the Lefko Kipseli, and the Maritime Sword. All right, so I do highly recommend having your HP over 6.5k. I think that will be pretty useful. I mean, I'm sure it's doable with less, but I always like to be a little bit safe on the HP. And, if you have, I think, between 2,200 and 2,500 physical attack, then you should be pretty much okay, or shooting for 2k plus. All right, so let's go over to Aerith over here. She's sitting at 6.9k HP, 2.47k magic attack, and 1,500 heal. I am running her with the beach costume right here, the sunny robe, and then, of course, her own limit break. I do have the sun umbrella and then fairy tale equipped. I was trying with Mithril Rod, like I said at the beginning. I was trying a more defensive approach, but it wasn't quite working for me. This debuff on the physical defense and magical defense that can go to mid is super helpful throughout the fight, especially because the main boss is very tanky. Going into her materia, I have a Healing Asuna Poison on there. It's a single target, 3 ATB cost heal that she can fire off really quickly. I normally keep one of these just for safekeeping. Then I have Quakera here. This is just for the stats on it. And then last but not least, of course, a Triangle Sigil Ruinra materia. Going into her sub-equips, I have the 1,000 Waves, the Chocobo Staff, and the Crystal Gloves. Last but not least, here we have Cloud sitting at 6.7k HP. He's sitting at 2.3k physical attack. I am running him with Zidane's costume, which is called Zidane. And also I'm running him with Zidane's sword right here. That's pretty funny. I actually haven't looked at these costumes, so that's fair enough. And then, so as you can see here, I'm only running an OB1 Zidane sword, and it's only level 70 actually. I tried to get it level 80, but I didn't want to do the farming for that. I figured it wasn't too huge of a difference. In the second slot, I'm running a base 5-star bandage sword. This is for the AoE magic defense increase to the team. So this is going to be instant cast mid. If you're ever like behind on a heal, or you just want to play it safe with Cloud, you can use this ability and it's going to greatly come in handy. Of course, we are using the level 7 cross slash, and if I go to the sub-equips, I'm running the Seaside Collar, the Murasame, and the Black Whiskers right here. I did try this with the Murasame OB10 just for stats in the main slot, and it didn't hold up. You really need non-elemental weapons to do damage to this guy. It's pretty crazy. And just to take a little snippet towards Aerith's new weapon, it seems like it's only really relevant during the soar phase of the boss, which only happens once, so you could get some extra damage in to somehow like bypass the later DPS check, but absolutely unnecessary to win this fight, at least for now. Alright, so that is my team going into it. That being said, I hope you guys enjoy the voiceover of the fight, and I wish you the best of luck getting the clears for yourselves. Alright guys, here it is, the Black Waltz Ruin Stage 1. Alright, so when the fight starts out, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to switch to Tifa, target the middle Black Waltz 3, and immediately magic attack down him with the Tiger Fang. Then switch back to Cloud immediately and use Sanctuary if you have it. Wait till the very last second on the defense gauge right here, at the very last second, and turn it over. Alright, the magic attack mid is normally enough to survive this attack. Cloud is just a little bit of an extra right here. All right, sweet. So we're going to be down in the red. I'm immediately switching over to Aerith, and we're going to use Curaga. I switch back over to the red stance just to keep it getting back up to full right here. The Black Waltz 3 is going to go straight into Soar. But the next thing you're going to do is you're going to switch, after you heal, intermittently you're going to switch over to Tifa, and you're going to reuse her magic attack down, first on the Black Waltz 3, and then afterwards on the Black Waltz 2. You don't need to worry about the magic attack down on the Black Waltz 1. That is going to be the first thing we kill once we get rid of their ability to kill us, which is with their big magic attack boosts. That is where these enemies are extremely dangerous. All right, so just keep yourself up on heals in the meantime. All right, after you magic attack them both down, switch back to Black Waltz 1, and from here, I'm just going to be using Night Bloom with Aerith wherever I can, just to get rid of his physical and magic defense buffs. All right, that's going to take it down 2 points, and I'm trying not to let my HP go anywhere lower than 60%. So I switch back over, I use Curaga, now I'll let it recover a little bit, and I will use Night Bloom again, right here. All right, if you're quick on the draw, when they cast their spells, you can defend against them by switching to the stance or the defense stance. I kind of do it here and there throughout the fight, but once you get the Black Waltz 1 completely debuffed on magic defense and physical defense, from there it's just opened up to Tifa and Cloud to do as much damage as possible. So Tifa will be spamming No Mercy, Cloud will be using free energy, and then once they're fully debuffed, it opens you up to use your limit breaks for the first time. I highly recommend not using your limit breaks unless you have the enemies fully debuffed. Later on, especially against the Black Waltz 3, you are going to need as much damage as you can get, because as he gets lower and lower in health, he begins doing insane amounts of damage, kind of like the Iron Giant, where he will hit you with an attack where no matter how many buffs you have, you will not survive it. So after taking out the Black Waltz 1, switch over to the Black Waltz 2, and this is exactly what you're going to do. The exact same thing. We're going to take down the second one right here. All right, as you can see, he's fully debuffed on physical defense and magic defense. And intermittently with Cloud, I will use Sanctuary just to like kind of alleviate some of the damage. Tifa is essentially just like doing as much damage as possible. Keep her buff up on her at all times. All right. And just do as much damage as you can. So here we go. Aerith is using Night Bloom again, which, just so you know, Night Bloom actually does a decent amount of damage to the flying bar on Black Waltz 3, which you will see here in a second. All right, so the Black Waltz 2 is going to go down. All right, so from here, Aerith is just going to be using Night Bloom, keeping everyone's HP full, and all the other characters are going to be using that Triangle Sigil Ruin that's in their 3rd slot. All right, so we're basically going to get him down. Once this bar is depleted, he's going to fall to the ground. And normally that's another good time to use the limit breaks. Normally there are both debuffs to the mid range on physical and magic from Aerith's Night Bloom right here. All right, and so Tifa's limit break is going to pop right there. Cloud's is very close, but not quite. All right, so I'm going to use free energy to get cross slash up all the way. And there he goes. He falls to the ground. As soon as my limit breaks pop, I'm going to go straight for it. All right. Okay, so there is the cross slash right there. The debuffs are still in effect, so I'm waiting. Actually, they're not in effect. I'm going to use Night Bloom right here. Go straight into the limit breaks. Okay. This is going to do a pretty big chunk of damage. So at this point in the fight, after you down him, you're going to want to get him pretty close to 3/4 of his health left. At this point, when he starts to say, I exist right there, switch over to Tifa and start saving all of her ATB. As you can see, I'm not using any attacks. Once he does this ability, he gets a major magic attack buff. So as soon as he does that, you're going to magic attack down him with Tifa. I normally use upper shot twice in a row right here. All right, so when he does freeze lock, immediately look at the HP of that character. If it's not full, heal them. And then if it's not Tifa, use magic attack down and try to use Sanctuary with Cloud. But make sure you switch over to the defense stance right here. Typically, the best way to survive this is to magic attack down him. You can compensate that if Tifa is the one that gets hit with Cloud using Sanctuary and Aerith just making sure everyone's topped off in HP. But yeah, Tifa's kind of the toughest one to get frozen. Right here, I'm just going to switch over. You'll see throughout the fight that having the single target cures are actually very helpful, especially when one person gets hit, just like that. So I'm using Cloud to heal because Curaga takes 5 ATB charges. It doesn't do quite as much sometimes. So yeah, that really helps me get through the fights, especially when one character gets thrown into the red. All right, so from here, we're just going to start to do as much damage as possible. We've recovered from the last setback. We recovered from the freeze. Here comes the second freeze. This is the Triangle Sigil. And so essentially, I'm just going back and forth between Cloud and Tifa. I believe that this is Triangle Sigil break +2 on Zidane's weapon in the main slot, which is what makes Cloud so effective in this fight is breaking that sigil. This is going to give you another huge DPS boost. During this point in time, of course, use the Sun Umbrella to debuff the Black Waltz 3 and then just open up on the damage right here. As you can see, we've got him down to half health and we're just going to keep on going. Keep up the debuffs on him, don't let them fall. Keep Tifa with her high potency physical attack buff and just go for the damage. I throw in the Healing Wind here and there whenever I need it, typically as like a save. Like I won't use it if I can definitely get off a Curaga. All right, so here comes the second set of limit breaks on him. All right, Tifa going in for the water kick. That is beautiful. Okay, so everyone's looking pretty topped off. As you can see right here, I switch stance to the defense to block the Blizzaga. All right, and then just roll back into the damage. Essentially from here, it's going to get tough. Right around a quarter health or when he hits in the red, he's going to start using Strike on frozen opponents and doing major damage. So here's the freeze lock right here. Even with Tifa getting off her upper shot, which I'm going to get off right here, I'm pretty sure that I don't get off Cloud's... oh, it looks like I fully healed Cloud. I didn't get off the magic attack break, but look at the damage here. All right, 5,906. Okay, it's the next one. It's not this one. All right, so that was the last strike. When you hit around a quarter health, you're going to get one more freeze lock. That's going to be the last thing that's survivable. After that, he gets stunned for a little bit of time, so do as much damage as you can right here. All right, this is going to be your last little window before he basically goes berserk and starts killing off your team one at a time, and there's basically nothing you can do about it. I don't even know if you were like if you were like a whale or a super whale or whatever. Right here, eliminate, eliminate. So this strike right here, look at the damage that it's about to do on Aerith. And with Cloud and Tifa, I'm just going for damage at this point. 37,925 damage. Impossible to survive that. At this point, you are just going balls to the wall, as much damage as you can, burn him down to the ground. The next person that he uses strike on is most assuredly gonna die, so you have to kill him before he finishes. So I'm just going back and forth through Tifa and Cloud. I'm not worried about Sanctuary. I'm not worried about healing. I'm not doing anything but damage right here. It doesn't matter how much damage I take. All right, so this is very similar to the EX3 Iron Giant fight at the very end, for those of you who have fought that one. All right, so Cloud is gone. He got frozen. This strike is gonna take him out of the game right here. Boom, 52,000 damage, and Cloud is down. It is down to our girl, Tifa. She is one move away from getting her limit break. And let me tell you, my heart was racing right now because I lost a lot of times on this fight. Going into the limit break, how freaking awesome to finish it with the water shot, with the water kick. Oh, man. All right, well, honestly, that was a very fun fight. One of the, I think that although EC has in many ways in which they can improve, and I do think that, like most new gacha games, there's not too many aspects of it right now. Remember, guys, it's a new game. Like when War of the Visions came out, we didn't have half the things that we have now in that game. And honestly, they will slowly implement it over time. There will be guilds. I'm guessing there will be PvP just based on watching Nier Reincarnation. And so I think that there's going to be a lot of cool things coming in the future that are fun for the game. But for me, my favorite part about it are these fights. And, a lot of people get mad that they can't beat the solo crash. But like, for me, as long as there is a fight that's doable for me and like in the range, even if it's not the hardest fight, I'm happy to do that. And I'm pretty sure there is at least one of those stages for everyone where you can really sit and sink your teeth into it and have fun playing the game. So for me, this has been a really fun fight. I hope that my setup, my overall strategy helps you guys beat this boss. You are just going to get one little Lucia as VV icon and then the 200 crystals. But yeah, I just want to make sure that this video helps you guys to clear this stage. Let me know in the comments below. Did you end up using a different strategy? Were you forced to use different weapons? I really feel like Cloud's hard edge would have came in handy really well in this fight. But overall, I hope this video helps you guys out, and I hope to catch you guys on the flip side. Of course, once again, thank you to everyone who support the channel in every way, shape, and form. That being said, hope you all have a wonderful night. Take care, and cheers.